Goals. Biggest pain, right? You have so much trouble. Everybody has so much trouble trying to figure out, what do I need to do to be an effective voiceover business? How can I make my dreams come true? And January rolls around, and then you make all these resolutions, and then everything goes splat. And you don't know what happened, and you don't know why it happened, and you don't know how it happened. And then you find yourself struggling to start over, and you don't even know what that looks like, or what that sounds like, or what that means. How do I set goals? How do I define success? Well, it's a process. And the first step of the process is to learn how to think about yourself and what you want objectively. That is an extremely difficult thing to do. The ability to step outside of yourself and really look at who you are and what you want, and then figure out what you need to do and be and have to get what you want, is a big challenge. My first piece of advice is be kind to yourself. Understand that this is a process. It's a long-term process. And we, as Americans, based on our educational system and our culture, we're not set up for success to be free-thinking, independent, self-determining, that's just not how we're trained in the house or at school. We're just not. So be kind to yourself and understand that your frame of mind, your systems of thought, as I like to put it, you have to reframe the conversation, reframe the narrative, reframe yourself, how you view yourself, how you view the voiceover industry, how you view your relationship to the voiceover industry. Once you're able to do that, then you can start to set tangible goals. Yes, we all want to make as much money as possible, but yes, you should have a number. What is that number? What does it mean to get the tools that you need? This microphone, this shock mount, this pop filter, your DAW, your antivirus software, business cards, paper clips, all that stuff. And obviously the big thing, marketing, which nobody understands how to do, and we all just kind of slam into social media sideways, and it can be very, very frustrating. It's a lot. There's a saying, many are called, few are chosen. I like to say many are called, few make the right choices. And it's a privilege to be a voice actor. It's a privilege to talk for money, considering how hard so many people work their entire lives at jobs that they hate, and they get paid very, very little, with no potential for advancement and no health insurance. And we as voice actors, we're so lucky. We're so privileged. That should also be a part of your systems of thought when you're trying to set your goals for the next year, which is remember how lucky you are that you even have the opportunity to do this. Count your blessings, as they say. So what is a voiceover business anyway? A lot of people come into the voiceover industry and they have these preconceived notions about what being a business is in general and what being a voiceover business is in particular. And generally, their systems of thought going in do not line up with the reality of the voiceover industry. Also, a lot of people coming into the voiceover industry, when they hear the word business, they freak out because they don't want to be a business, which is why they're trying to get into the voiceover business, which is, contradictory. It makes no sense. Once you get in here and realize, oh, I have to learn how to file my taxes. I need to invoice. I need to negotiate rates. I need to build marketing campaigns. I need to be a content writer, and a myriad of other things. And it has a direct influence on your decision-making ability. And the best way to make effective decisions in voiceover or in anything else is to have effective, accurate systems of thought, how you think about what you're supposed to think about in life in general, and in the voiceover business, in particular. It's a challenge. And I sympathize, because my systems of thought coming into the voiceover industry were completely skewed. They made absolutely no sense. Collect as much accurate information as you can. Find fellow voice actors who have been around for a little while, talk to good genre coaches, demo producers, VO strategists, marketing and branding experts to get a real accurate idea of how you need to think to be able to understand what the voiceover business is and how you can effectively develop your voiceover business, both as an artist and as a business and as a person just trying to navigate this, goofy world that is the voiceover industry. So when you ask what is a voiceover business anyway, it's a combination of how you think and how you execute. And how you think will have a direct influence on how you execute. Can an actor think like a business? Yes. Well, thank you for watching this video. Obviously, there's a little bit more to it than that. A lot of people coming into the entertainment industry, performing arts, acting, voice acting, and what have you, have a lot of trouble thinking like a business, which has a huge influence on how effective and ultimately how successful they are in their performance artist career. The problems, is educational and cultural. Educational, as in we have been educated using the 19th century Prussian educational model, which is designed to create soldiers and factory workers. Not very conducive for artistic, self-employed, self-determining entrepreneurs. The other problem is cultural, because we have been raised in a American Idol chorus line, God, I hope I get it, audition and pray, if you're not a star, you're a loser environment. Also, not very helpful on a lot of levels. People think they have to get discovered, that they have to get their big break, that they have to get lucky to be effective and successful. And that's just not true. It's just not true. Can it be true? Has it happened? Absolutely. If you're going to depend on that to be successful, you may have to wait for a long time. So how can actors think like businesses? First, I strongly suggest that you examine your assumptions. What are your assumptions about yourself? What are your assumptions about the entertainment industry? And what are your assumptions about what your relationship is or could be with the entertainment industry? Because your assumptions influence your expectations. And it's extremely important for you to manage your expectations. Usually that has kind of a negative connotation, as in, oh, you better manage your expectations. Don't think it's going to go great. It'll probably suck. That's not what I mean. It's that you need to understand how you work and how you don't work, how you operate, how you don't operate. And this will influence your decision-making process, which is the second thing I recommend. Learn how to make decisions based on facts, not your feelings. Okay? Like I said, intuition, and emotions and things like that, these can and should be, a factor in your decision-making process, but you need to have facts. You need to have data. You need to be able to analyze and understand what's going on in the industry and what's going on inside yourself. The ability to metacognate, which is where you stand outside of yourself and look at yourself from the outside objectively, so you can make objective, data-driven, fact-based decisions about your acting career. And then the third one is be realistic. Be realistic about your talent or lack of talent. Be realistic about the resources that you have or don't have. Be realistic about what the logistics of your life are. Be realistic about the skill sets that you have or don't have, and figure out what exactly you need to be effective, which is why you should work with business and marketing consultants like me. Voice acting is hard. Being successful in the voiceover industry is really hard. It is not an easy thing. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 3 reasons why voice acting is so hard. Reason number 1, there is no track. If you want to be a doctor, you go to school, you get good grades. You go to college, you get good grades. You go to graduate school, you get good grades. You go to doctor school, you get good grades. You take all the classes, you do all the certifications, you get into your internships and residency and specialization. So if you want to be a doctor, you know exactly what you need to do and where you need to go. In voiceover, it's like all over the place. It's like, okay, I want to be a voice actor. Now what? Well, what most people do is they go to Google, and whoever has the most money put in search engine optimization is the stuff you're going to see first. That's where you're going to go, and then you're going to dive in. Is that a good thing? Nah. Reason number 2, people don't come in with the skills necessary to be successful. Just because they can make some funny, squeaky voices, they think they'll instantly be discovered and make a bucket of money. No, no, no. You need training. You need storytelling training. I strongly recommend improv training, on-camera training, theater training, opera training, or stand-up comedy training. Those will give you that storytelling gene, the ability to take a story, have a beginning, a middle, an end, an arc, and a message, and be able to communicate that with an audience. Reason number 3 why voice acting is so hard: lack of business and marketing skills. This is the poopy grown-up stuff that we don't like to talk about. Most of you have decided to become a voice actor because you want to get away from all the poopy grown-up stuff of being able to think and operate like a business and worry about taxes and finances and marketing strategies and all that stuff. It is extremely difficult. I was just overhauling my marketing plan this morning. There's at least 50 or 60 different things I need to do every week to move my business forward just on a marketing level. Much less invoicing and finance, managing my finances, balancing my checkbook, paying my bills, and a host of other stuff. Get a hold of yourself. The voiceover industry is pretty freaky. It's pretty chaotic. It's pretty unpredictable, and it's changing all the time. When I started, in the mid-90s, the voiceover industry was pretty stable. There were a precious few genres. There were a precious few voice actors pursuing the voiceover industry. And then when social media, the internet in general, social media in particular, showed up, online casting, home recording, and then the doors opened wide for everybody to try to do voiceovers, things got a little wonky because if for no other reason, your definition of success could change. There was pretty much one way to define success as a voice actor and a very limited amount of ways to pursue the business of voiceover. Now there's so many. And now what's happening is, people say AI is coming. Well, AI is here. It's been here for a while, and now we as voice actors are just starting to figure out that we have no idea what's going on. We figured out that we can't figure it out, that we haven't figured it out, at least yet. So it's really easy to be frustrated, disappointed, annoyed, concerned, upset, and feel that your fledgling voiceover business or your veteran voiceover business is subject to an existential threat. Well, I understand. I decided I want to be a voice actor in the 90s. I struggled in the aughts. I thrived in the teens. And now in the 20s, I am overhauling my voiceover business. I'm a few years into overhauling my voiceover business because I didn't have a hold of what the voiceover industry was. I lost sight of what the voiceover industry was and is. And what it is ever changing. It's ever changing. But there are a few things that don't change. One is understanding how to execute like an effective voiceover business. And the practical application of that for me as a voice actor and as the VO strategist is project management. Understanding that you need to have a really good handle on everything that happens from the moment that the audition hits your inbox to the moment that the check clears. Everything in between that is project management. To really get a hold of yourself and your voiceover business, you need to get a hold of project management.